You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, all you weirdos. Jim here, and we got some news. It's not real breaking news. It's from a couple days ago, and it's pretty big news, but I didn't see or hear a lot of people talking about it. It's that Jason Aaron is going to be writing a Batman story. Pretty big, huh? And I know that a lot of people recently haven't really enjoyed a lot of what Jason Aaron is doing over at Marvel. I'm one of them. That Avengers run should have ended way before it did, and even then, it was not very good. I actually ended up getting in a fight with my man Brandon. We got in a fight with Tom Brevoort about that Avengers run, and early on, he basically said to us that we were morons and that this is going to be looked back at like a John Byrne seminal run on Avengers, and we said that he was crazy, and I think that the time told that we were right. You're crazy, Tom Brevoort. But this is about Jason Aaron, and Jason Aaron seems like one of those writers that does need a fresh start, a change of scene. I need a change of scenery, too. It's been crappy here in Pennsylvania this summer. I need to go, but I don't like to go very far. So maybe like New York, but upstate New York. I'll go visit Brandon in Buffalo. I don't want to go to NYC. I don't need that nonsense, right? So you end up where maybe Jason Aaron just needs, to do something different, work with different characters. And I did see some people right away when they heard this. Oh, my God, I wish he was on Wonder Woman. Well, we have Tom King on Wonder Woman, whether or not that's going to be good or not. But I think that Jason Aaron has to do something a little different. Maybe stay away from the mythological type characters at this moment to kind of, get that mojo back. He's got to get his groove back. What he does end up having, though, is a beard. And he talks about that over and over. And I'll tell you right now, I've seen that beard of his, and he is a hot weekend from looking like Alan Moore. You don't want that to happen. So I don't know why he keeps bringing it up, but he will in a minute as we go through this. And here's the description of the book he's coming on this Batman off-world. A routine night in Gotham City for a young Batman proves to be anything but routine when the crime fighter is confronted with a sort of foe he's never faced before. One from beyond the stars. You ever see the movie Beyond the Stars? I think that was the movie with John Boy from the Waltons that actually Ebert said was going to be bigger than Star Wars. He was wrong. He's like Tom Brevoort. A universe of possible alien threats leads Batman to make a daring decision to venture alone into the far reaches of the cosmos for the very first time, where the Dark Knight will face the fight of his life. So that sounds kind of cool, and I think it's a smart play to have him come over and first do a contained story. Do something Elseworlds-like. Kind of, like I said, get that mojo back, get some excitement, have some fun with it, and then hopefully he will go off and maybe run a book, be the main writer on a book. And I know that people would start right away because we don't have a Justice League book right now. And they'd be afraid, oh my God, that Avengers was terrible. I hope he doesn't get the Justice League. But even if he does, just look at the roster of writers right now at DC. Most of the better ones already have a bunch of books. And then we have the rest. I think that Jason Aaron, while you may hate him, he's better than the rest. He really is. And I hope that maybe they do this. I don't really want him on the Justice League. Don't take me for saying that. But I would like to see him on some ongoing because I do think he's better than a lot of what DC has at the moment. Now, I will give a little shout out. There have been people in comments of different videos saying that they really do think that since Bendis came, as they said, I have to hit the rim shot. There's been this influx of Marvel, right? And it's true, there has been, but they look at it as their sleeper agents trying to bring down DC. And I'll tell them, DC doesn't need any help. They can do that themselves. But at the moment, Marvel is kind of putting a freeze on hiring and all that stuff. So I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing people coming over to DC. And I'm all for it. I mean, I'll give it a shot. I hope that these stories are good. I hope that this story is good and fun and cool. But it is superstar writer Jason Aaron delivers the first Batman story ever, partnered by blockbuster artist Doug Mahnke for a unique and brutal tale. So he's going to tell that big Batman story. And it says, while Jason Aaron built his early reputation in DC's Vertigo imprint on titles such as The Other Side and Scalp, I've read Scalp, that's pretty good, Offworld is the second time Aaron has written a story set in the DC universe itself, the DC universe proper, as MC Hammer used to say. The first was 2008's Joker's Asylum Penguin #1, commissioned shortly before Aaron began his long exclusivity with Marvel. 15 years later, he's finally getting the chance to work with the Cape Crusader proper. Here is his quote. I fell in love with comics because of DC. The first books my young, beardless self ever plucked from a grocery store spinner rack were the new Teen Titans and World's Finest and Batman. I'd like if he just kept going. And I also, picked up a little Nightwing, and then on the side, I used to get the Teen Titans, and then I got this, and then I got that. He got a bunch of books. They were DC. And amazingly, at 7 or 8 years old, he didn't have a beard. He was pining for one, I guess. He didn't quite have the beard game going yet. I don't know if he has the beard game going now. And I say all this, but when you see Jason Aaron, he looks scary as hell. He would probably beat the crap out of me. I'll tell you that right now. I still will not. I'll be there, broken bones, barely able to breathe. You still have a terrible beard, is what I'd say. And then he'd probably kill me. Books that open the door to a universe of stories that would quite literally change the course of his life, along with getting a beard. So it is with great honor and excitement that at long last, I get to make my proper debut as a DC writer with a Batman story that takes the young Dark Knight on his first journey into the far wondrous reaches of the DC cosmos. So that's basically it. He's pumping it up. Batman Offworld #1 is going to be $3.99. Get that. And it will be on sale November 21st, 2023. So we are getting a lot of cool things coming up. When I say that, I am thinking about the Justice League versus Godzilla versus King Kong. I'm still pumped up for that. But we also get things like this that might start to turn things around with some people. Hopefully this, if you aren't jumping in after Summerween and the Night Terrors back into the dawn of DC and a bunch of new books, maybe this will get some people over to DC and check things out. And again, it's a cool play because if you end up doing that, it doesn't have anything to do with continuity. Doesn't have anything to do with, oh my God, I haven't read DC in years. You'll be able to just jump in and maybe it'll be a kickstart kind of thing to get you into more books. So I always go with that. Amazingly enough, I have to admit, I do really like DC Comics. I just don't love the state of affairs that we're in right now. But there are some lights at the end of the tunnel. But please let me know what you think of all this. Even if you don't like Jason Aaron's, current work, or maybe you don't even like his Thor stuff that everybody points to, but don't you think that he's a better writer than a lot of the DC writers at the moment? There's not a huge pool of amazing writers anymore. He's in there. You know what I mean? Not the greatest, but he's not the worst. And I think that he's better than a lot of the DC stuff that we have now. So let me know. Let me know what you all think of this. You're going to get this book. Are you excited about it? And then we'll talk about it. But do that in the comments. And hey, everybody, I'll talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.